Hi guys, I've been talking about it for a while as far as I've been modding some of my arcades. I started with my Ninja Turtle one. I've since done my Galaga and then my Pac-Man. I think I'll probably go through and do all three of them eventually. But this was the first one I started with. And this was the first Arcade1Up that I really wanted. So I know that they had been put on arcades and nothing really drew my attention too much. And when I saw they put out the Ninja Turtle one, that was one that I knew I had to get. So I ended up getting it. I love the arcade, but the problem that I had with this arcade, because I really didn't want to mod it, I wanted to leave it stock and everything like that, but the big problem that I had was that I've played Ninja Turtles so many times growing up, just on the NES, and then Turtles in Time on the Super Nintendo. I've played it so many times in the arcade, and the game kind of gets kind of boring. So the problem that I was having was that I knew I was never going to get rid of this arcade just because I love the way it looks and just it was so nostalgic, but it was my least, now that I have 6 arcades, aside from the first week or two that I had it, I just never touched it. And I was like, man, I'm never going to get rid of this arcade. I want to do something. So I finally broke down and did a mod on it. And kind of that's what I'm going to go through in this video. I'll just do a brief overview of the stuff that I did. I'll put links in the description of everything, where I got it from, to help you out. If you got any questions, just make sure to go ahead and message me in the comments and I'll help out as much as I can. And I kind of took a bunch of different videos. I took a lot from, like, obviously ETA Prime's video, took a lot from just different stuff that I saw, mixed it in with stuff that I wanted to do. So it's, you may see this video and you may see something different that you haven't seen before. If not, I hope you enjoyed it anyways. But let's go ahead and get into it. I'll show you some of the gameplay of what I end up doing, and then after that, then we'll just break down and I'll show you just stuff behind what's underneath and what's in the back. So let's get started. Alright, we'll start with a quick overview just to kind of give you an idea of everything that's going on. But I got the light up marquee, I got all the LED lights on the deck, and then over here you can kind of see I got some LED lights running behind it. Up there is the displate, which I've been collecting a bunch of those of late. I think I showed that one off in a weekly video, but I got the LEDs running up over and across the bookshelves, and I usually just keep those on green just to go with to fit the theme. I got a couple little Ninja Turtles here I got off of Amazon, and yeah, the buttons here are going to be a combination of like the 4-pack that I think a lot of people get off of Amazon to do this mod, and then I kind of swapped out the purple and orange with some from Do It Yourself Arcade. But here is just a custom Ninja Turtle SNES that I painted, a turtle van, and a couple turtle toys. And yeah, this is like I said, the light up marquee from Arcade1Up, which is okay, but I definitely think I would prefer one from Arcade1Up. But yeah, just in general, it came out really good and happy with it. Love it to death. Play it so much more now, obviously, that it has all the Raspberry Pi 4 on, and you're seeing here just Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. But the main reason I ended up doing the Raspberry Pi 4, the main reason I did it is because I wanted to be able to play Dreamcast games on here. So you see here I'm playing some NFL Blitz, I think 2001 on the Dreamcast. And the Raspberry Pi 4, when you have it overclocked, it plays Dreamcast games. It plays most of the games I've tried. It works on there pretty well, and it runs them pretty well. It doesn't run them as good as the Dreamcasters, but it runs them well enough. And having NFL Blitz on here was something really important for me. Also, once you get into the Dreamcast games, then you can get Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which runs pretty well also. But there were some games, like the Power Stone games, I need to do a little bit more working, but couldn't get those to work. But I got, like, Ikaruga works, and that runs pretty well. I don't say so, it doesn't run perfect, but it runs, I think, good enough. And then I also wanted to be able to play some cave shooters. I love shooters, and some of the cave shooters and stuff like that didn't run as well on the Pi 3. So having the Pi 4 really allows you to run, some cave shooters and just games that you really can't run on the Pi 3. And then also after the shooters, you obviously just got your Neo Geo stuff. Neo Geo stuff, I think, for the most part, I don't know if there was anything I had trouble running on the Pi 3, but runs great on the anything Neo Geo for the most part that I've tried out runs great on the Pi 4, and it's just nice having that collection available to run. This is a game that I really had trouble running on the Pi 3. Golden Axe to Revenge of Death Adder. This was so laggy when I tried to run it on my Pi 3, and this was really something important for me because there's that cabinet coming out from Arcade1Up, the Golden Axe one, and I just really didn't have room for another 4-player one. So getting that to run on the Pi 4 and how smooth it runs was a big win for me. And then obviously you got to have Alien vs Predator on here, and you got some Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. So just the amount of games that you can have on here, and they don't all run perfect, but they run pretty daggone good. And then here's just a PlayStation game. You got Batman Forever, the arcade game, playing on here, and that's a game that I know a lot of people hate, but I really enjoy that game. I think it's a lot of fun to play. And then just some hacks. This is the Punisher Streets of Rage 2 hack, which is just probably my favorite hack of all time. And Alright, so we'll start up top with the light up marquee. So the light up marquee I got from, I believe it's Arcade1Up, but I'll leave a description down below, and it's okay. I think it comes out to, they always have them on sale, it seems like, but it ends up coming out to about like, I think $60-70 with shipping. I just don't like how big the border is on the top and then on the bottom, to where the NBA Jam one I have, there is no border up top. So it's like the marquee and just the art is so much bigger on the NBA Jam one compared to the one from Arcade1Up. So I really hope that, I know that they're supposed to be making one for Ninja Turtles, Arcade1Up is, but I have no idea when that's going to be coming out. And I'm really tempted to just go and get one from, I know that guy was it Angel from Disability. I really am tempted to order something from him. He doesn't have a website, and I just typically don't like ordering stuff from people who don't have websites. But I may just break down and go through the Facebook and get one from him, because his are definitely much more appealing. But these are easy to order, easy to hook up. So it's better than nothing, I think, but definitely not ideal as far as like what I would want. And then down here will come, and these little guys I got off of Amazon. I want to say this 4-pack is, I want to say it's like 11 or 12 bucks off of Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for them. They're really cool. They definitely help add some character to the cabinet. And another cool thing about them is that they don't get in the way. They're very sturdy, so their legs are really wide. So like that I can play, and I've never had them fall down or anything like that while I'm playing. And if I'm playing like a fighting game, pretty rough. So they can sit there while you're playing. They don't block the screen or nothing like that. So they're a really good addition, I think, as well. And when you come down here, like I showed you before, I have the on-off button works. So if I go ahead and turn that off button, now what it's going to do is it's going to turn the buttons off except for these two. The buttons in the middle that are wired here are on a different, so it'll turn off the red and the blue, but the purple, orange, and then the light up here are all powered off of a different outlet. And I haven't found a way to tie all that together yet. But when I power it back on, everything will start back up and come back on. But the lights are, to me, the orange and the purple lights are just really make it. It was a lot of trouble getting them all hooked up and getting the right lights. But when you get everything figured out, I think it's so much better. And actually, these lights, it's hard to tell on here, but the lights from Do It Yourself Arcade are actually much brighter than they are. You can kind of see. They're a little bit dim. This is the one that comes from the set, and they're a little bit dim on the inside. And look how much brighter the one from like Arcade or from Do It Yourself Arcade are. Really cool. And yeah, you gotta. I think there's only 2 buttons in the actual arcade, or when you get it. So what I did was I did the 6 buttons. So I think 2 down here and then 2 over here for the player 1, player 2, which is what everyone I think does who does this one, so that you can play player 1 and player 2 for your fighting games, and you only really need those extra 2 buttons for the extra 3rd and 4th one in case you were playing a beat 'em up with a bunch of people or something. But yeah, it definitely looks really good with all those lights. And like I said, I kind of went through, and the kits all have these as clear. And if you just do the standard kit, you can swap. You have enough buttons to where you can swap out your player 1 and all your coin buttons to make them colored. When I went ahead and ordered the orange and the purple, I had to order extra coin buttons and one player and one player 2 because the buttons were different, so I couldn't swap them out with the ones that came with the previous set. Like I said, I probably did everything backwards, but in the end, it came out really good. But in the end, I have all the coin buttons, all the player ones match up to the right color, which to me is just being OCD is really important. One more thing is that I've done this on, I think, all my arcades, not all my arcades, but most of my arcades. Out of the 6 that I have, I've done it on 4 of them now. When I was drilling the hole in the deck protector, it cracked, and I ended up polyurethane in it, which is like a clear coat that you can put on here. And I put drinks up here now. I put water or whatever up here when I'm playing, and never harms it at all. I know people I've seen do like clear coats of like just spray cans on their arcades, and those seem like they come out really good too. The polyurethane gives it like a really nice scent as well, and it kind of gives it a nice little sheen. It's much better than the deck protector because the deck protector takes out like so much of the color. But so I would really highly advise not using your deck protector and just using polyurethane, which is like a type of a sealant, or some kind of spray clear coat sealant on there as well, because it definitely upgrades it a lot, and it brings so much more color to the actual control panel itself. And the dust covers, I actually got these off of Etsy. I want to say they came from the UK, but these are really cool dust covers. You got the Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. And I like these because they're kind of low profile. I've gotten some off of eBay, off of people, and they're really, I think for my Marvel Avengers and for my Galaga one, they're too high profile, and I don't like them near as much as these. These are really low profile, and I like them a lot better. And as long, also with the dust covers, I also got the bat top joysticks, which for certain games I like bat top, for certain games I like the ball top. So, but I put the bat tops on here, and I think and I'll put a link to those in the description as well, because on Amazon you can get I think you can get the yellow and the green ones, but they also have a set that comes with orange and purple, pack of 4. So I'll put those in the description as well, and they're kind of like they're not as solid. They got the little speckles inside, so it looks really cool. But that's it as far as the control panel and control deck. Alright, and this is probably the thing that I would say to suggest most. If you're going to just do one thing, if you just want to keep your arcade for the most part standard and didn't want to mod it, didn't want to get anything, or kind of was looking for just a cost efficient way to improve any arcade that you have, I think putting the decal on the front kickplate is the way to go. I got mine from Arcade1Up.com, I believe is who it is. I'll put a link in the description. Now I'm going to warn you, the site is horrific. Being a web developer, looking at the site just makes my skin crawl. But I got to tell you, for the price, I think the kickplate, because you get the big kickplate down here, and then you also get the small piece up here. There are 2 different pieces, and I think it's like $29 for those 2. And then once you get it, I think it's like another like $7 or $8 for shipping. So you get it for, I think, around 40 or under 40 with shipping and tax. But for like I said, like for under $40, I've gotten a couple of these now. I've gotten 3 now, and I think these are probably for the money, I think it's the best addition to an arcade that you can get, to where the front kickplate did not really annoy me before. Now having this on, it's the biggest jump up of anything, other than just doing the Raspberry Pi in general. It's cost efficient, and it improves it so much. Now, like I said, it'll take you like 3 to 4 weeks to get it from them probably. I think the fastest I've got one is 2 weeks, but usually it takes 3 to 4 weeks. They're pretty backed up. Like I said, their website is really crappy, but they make really good decals. One other knock is that they make them a little bit bigger, so I had to cut like almost like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch off each side, maybe a little bit off the top. So you just make sure you can get like some tools from them to do that. I had tools to where I could do it myself. And for the Ninja Turtle one, there's multiple different ones that they had to pick from. I picked this one. This one actually wasn't my favorite. I picked it because I felt that The art style matched the rest of the arcade really good. Some of the other ones were just more kind of like brighter and cartoony. I feel like the colors of this one matched the existing arcade really, really good. So that's why I got it. Extremely happy with it. But like I said, I would advise this to, if you want to do nothing else, this is what I would advise to do. So let's take a look underneath the hood of the control panel right now. And you'll see I got a lot of wires, and it's a lot of difference as well. So these red and the blue that are on the opposite sides are the one that come with the pack. And when you get that 4-pack, which is very convenient, everything hooks up it's really easy. You get the joysticks, all 4 joysticks and everything like that. It's very convenient, but it comes with the Michelangelo's yellow, which is also the default yellow that it comes with the actual cabinet, which I've never liked. I've always thought Michelangelo was orange, and I wanted to fix that. And it comes with green for Donatello. I also wanted to fix that. So that's my player 1 and player 2 are the 2 colors that I dislike the most. So I really wanted to fix them. I ended up getting these buttons from Do It Yourself Arcade, I believe is what it's called. I'll put a link down in the description for it. The buttons work great. The only issue with the buttons is they require more wires, because I'll kind of show you here what I'm talking about. So right here is one of the buttons that actually comes with that set, and it's real nice because it has just you got the 3-prong that plugs into it, and then you got the 3-prong plugs into the USB encoder, which is very convenient, works really good. But like I said, I don't want these yellow buttons. So I end up switching out. I got the purple and the orange from Do It Yourself Arcade. The problem is that they have different connections on the back. And I'm, pretty much like a novice at just arcades and arcade buttons in general. There may be a different place where you can get, the purple LED light from, but I saw these, tried them out. They worked real great. The only problem is that they come with a 2-prong little connector. On this end, you got the wires. So when you go this route, you're going to need the wires to go from the button to the USB encoder, and then you're also going to need wires to go to light them up. So it's definitely more complicated in the end. It's a lot of extra work to get what you want in the end. Looks really great. I love it, but I'm not sure that I would advise it for everyone. And maybe you would want to just not get the pack that I got and just get all buttons from them. It's definitely going to be a little bit more costlier that way, but to each their own. I know a lot of people just don't care, but for me it was something really critical and something that I really liked. Also, when you will have to also get a different USB encoder, as the USB encoders that I got with the set are different than the ones that I got to go with the purple and the orange ones. I had to get special USB encoders that accepted 2 prongs. Like I said, there could have been different wires that I got to where I could have utilized those same USB encoders as possible. I couldn't find any, and I was just trying to find out what worked. So that's what worked for me. But in the end, it turned out really good. It was a lot of trial and error, a lot of work to get what I wanted, but I ended up getting exactly what I wanted in the end, and was extremely happy with it. Also, as you can see here, all my buttons up here, I got the coin buttons, which they're not clear. They're actual color for it, and same with the player 1, player 2. I had to do for all those. All the ones I got were all clear buttons that came like this, and you can pop the top off, because this basically was a coin button or a player 1. You can pop the top off and take the plastic cap and switch it out with the color one, and that's how I got all these to be the color, the coin and the player 1s. You can swap those caps out on all of them. For the orange and the purple, I ordered all those buttons individually, so I had to also go back and then reorder 2 extra coin buttons and then 2 extra player 1 and player 2 buttons, because those buttons are different than the ones that I got from the set. So like I said, it's a lot of trial and error. It's not the easiest way to do it. I don't know if it's a way that I advise, but it worked out good in the end, and I end up with a lot of extra parts, a lot of extra buttons, which I end up using for other arcades to mod. So it worked out good in the end. So that's it for the most part as far as the control panel. Alright, so looking in the back here, it's obviously not very beautiful, but I got the Raspberry Pi 4 going on, and for many reasons I wanted the Raspberry Pi 4. I wanted to be able to play something like NFL Blitz, just Dreamcast games at like a much better quality, and it definitely there's some shooters, like some cave shooters, that really don't play near as well with the Pi 3. So I really wanted cave shooters on here, and also Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder was a big one that, like, on my Pi 3 it struggled really hard playing that game. On the Pi 4 it plays it beautifully. So that was the main reason why I wanted a Pi 4. And I would highly suggest, if you're going with the widescreen format, to get a Pi 4. Unless you're going to do all older arcade games, but I would suggest getting a Pi 4 and overclocking it. But I followed, for the most part, just like ETA Prime's video, to where I got the, and I mean, I took a little bit from everyone. But I got the little adapter here, and you got your, coming in, this is your power. Coming in here, then this is your HDMI that comes from your Raspberry Pi, and this is your audio out that is going to your amplifier, and then just your basic cables here that come from your monitor. So you got the ground, and then these two cables, the harnesses that came from the monitor itself that you still use. And aside from that, I do have it to where I have the power cord, which I know most people know that if you take the existing power cord, you can plug it in like that, and then you can power on and off your Pi and your monitor and everything based upon your power switch. Now the only flip side to that is that you have to take your power switch off, and then you have to take your power switch out and then flip it around. So when you first do that, basically on is off and off is on, and you basically can take your power button out, unattach it, unscrew it, and then flip it around, and then everything will be squared out all right. And then down here is just your surge protector, and then all the AC power and stuff like that. That's pretty much all I did back here. The amplifier I'll show you how I have the amplifier mounted. I have the amplifier mounted up here, and basically I was trying to find a remote control amplifier, and I ordered one. It ended up being total trash. It burnt out. Basically the remote on it didn't work very well, and it burnt out after like a couple weeks. I think I blew it. I think I did something to blow it. So then I got this one off of Amazon, and it ends up being about $40. I want to say it's like 40, low 40s. The positive side to it is that I think it comes with the power adapter as well, but it also comes with multiple different audio, your 3.5 to 3.5, and then your 3.5 to the red and white audio, the two red and white audio cables. So it gives you a multiple different cables that you need. So it's $40. You don't have to get it, but I got it because it's really small, and I'll put a link in the description to the one that I got just to show you. And it has this really big knob. So basically I just used I think the 1 1/8 hole I drilled in here, and I just put this on here. So when I'm playing, I can just reach over and just adjust it really easily on top. And then also, I think I have that and then up here you have and up here is the power cord that runs up for the LEDs for the actual light up marquee. So that's all I got. You got the Pi 4, you got the board that connects everything together. You got your power down here, everything plugs into, and then the amplifier. And that's it for back here for the most part. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, more than likely I'll end up be doing one on my Galaga and on my Pac-Man as well. So those will probably be coming in probably sometime in the next couple months. I'll do those as well, because those are like the vertical type cabinets, so they are a little bit different, and I'll just show you as far as like different stuff that I did with those. So see you guys in the next video. Later.